Well, hello, hello, hello. Hi, powerful person. Hello, powerful coach. Hello, powerful leader. Hello, powerful coach leader. Hello, powerful leader coach. Did I cover everybody? So I'm going to sit up in my seat just a bit more because I'm all proud. Okay, because I am rocking my ICF swag, my ICF coaching education swag to be exact. So just a big shout out to the ICF, a big thank you for my swag. I absolutely love swag, love swag. Just a side note for you entrepreneurs, people love getting gifts. You know what? And it doesn't even matter what the gift is. You should have seen my face when I actually got this swag in the mail. I was like, oh my gosh, you would have thought somebody had just, you know, given me their firstborn. I was so excited, so excited. So I want to encourage you to consider offering some swag in your business. Yes, yes, yes. I have tons of swag. Here's some more swag. Look at that. Okay, you see that ICLI Rising logo? Yep, just like that. This is actually, this was a gift from one of our ICLI Rising coach training school graduates. So big shout out to Coach Sly. Thank you so much for my mug. Isn't that cool? How cool are our graduates? Okay, that the director of training gets gifts. I'm just saying. Isn't that cool? And it's such a great reminder for me as a coach to do just this. You see what it says? Trust the process. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Let me just take a drink of trusting the process. So, hello, hello. So good to see you all. So, again, I want to encourage you, if you don't offer swag, offer some swag. And again, like I said, people just they love gifts. It doesn't even have to be like a really costly gift. It could be something really simple. I have it that this probably was a bit costly. I don't know, but it could be really something simple like a mug, like a keychain, like actually it could be something digital. So I'm actually going to post today on our Instagram. Do you follow us on Instagram? If not, you should follow us on Instagram. But I'm going to post today in my Instagram stories a cute template that we just made in Canva. So it doesn't have to be something that costs a lot. I'm going to post a little template that asks my followers some questions about who they are and what their likes or dislikes is. Like, that's simple, right? Just asking them about what their likes or their dislikes are. Simple, simple, simple. Doesn't cost me a thing except for a monthly subscription to Canva. All right. So it's so good to see you. Thank you for being here. I am Sophia Casey. I am a master certified coach. I slow down on purpose when I say master certified coach because I am so very proud of my MCC credential. Very proud of that. It took a lot of work to actually earn that MCC credential. And I'm proud to also be a mentor coach to support others around pursuing their ICF associate, professional, and master certified coach credentials. I also have the wonderful blessing to be the Chief Empowerment Officer, the CEO of ICLI Rising, which is our ICF accredited coach training program. We are a level 1 and level 2 accredited coach training program, and we are working on level 3. What? Yes, we're working on curriculum to be able to train coaches who want to become MCCs like me. So really excited about that. And I know that my team is so great. They're going to put all of this information, our URL, it's right here too. Put it in the chat. Visit us at iclirising.com. We're here to support you around getting your associate, professional, or master certified coach credential. Yes, we are. All right. So what are we diving in today? So thank you all so much. You all have just been hanging in there with me as I navigate and offer you just some quick gems around the ICF core competencies. Thank you so much. I'm going to give a shout out to one of my wonderful colleagues, Coach Karita. I'm also going to give a shout out to a former mentee of mine, Shayna, who asked, Coach Sophia, will you please come and just do some little nuggets, give us a little bit of mini trainings around the core competencies? Ask and you shall receive. So here I am. So thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. And I'm happy to do so. So we started this series talking about core competency number 1 around the ethical standards. Then we went to core competency number 2. Who knows what core competency number 2 is? Don't make me do all the work. Yeah, so we talked about a coaching mindset and what it means to embody a coaching mindset. Then we went on to core competency number 3 last week. Who remembers what core competency number 3 is all about? Yes, it's about establishing and maintaining agreements. So that's what we talked about last week. And when we talk about agreements, we, being us mentor coaches, us coach trainers, the ICF, we mean more than just the coaching contract when we say agreement. We are actually talking about partnering with that client. Maybe if you're a manager, partnering with your team member, right? Partnering with that person who's on your team so that you both are clear about what that person desires in order to move their goals forward, to move them forward, because coaching is, of course, as we always say, coaching is forward focused. Is that forward or is that forward? Forward focused. All right. And then today, what I want to do is just take you to a conversation around the next core competency number 4. So thank you so much for being here at what I like to call our core for coaches. Core for coaches. You all know I love an acronym. Those of you who know me well, you know I loves me an acronym. So core, what does core actually stand for? So every single Tuesday, I'm here at 1:00 Eastern to offer you just some ideas, ways to collaborate. So core stands for collaborative opportunities rising for everyone. So collaborative opportunities rising for everyone. And that is the ASL sign for rising. How do I know that? Because we have ASL interpreters on our team. Yes, shout out to Coach Jamie, Coach KJ, and we have a lot more too. All right, so core for coaches, thank you so much for being here. So why is it important for us to talk about this core competency number 4, which is around trust and safety? Core competency number 4 says that we as coaches, and I have it that we as leaders, I apply the core competencies to my role as a leader also. So core competency 4 says that we will partner with that client to cultivate a space, an environment, a partnership of trust and safety. And why is it even important? I'm going to ask you all before I put in all that I have to put in, because I have lots to put in. Why is cultivating trust and safety, why is that even important? Okay, in our work as coaches, in our work as leaders, why is that important? Okay, I'm going to give you a moment just to respond. Okay, and then that'll give me a chance also to check in with you and say hello. So good to see you. Thank you, Karenette, for being here. Thank you so much, Sharna. Thank you for co-piloting. I sure appreciate you. All my team members are here. Hello, Charlay. I could say Coach Charlay because she's a graduate of one of our coach training programs. Thank you for being here. If I haven't said hello yet, it's just because I can't see your name just yet. So I want you to put that in the chat. Why is cultivating trust and safety so important, not just as a coach, not just as a leader, but in general, in all types of relationships? I have it that it's super, super important because the coaching relationship, I say this all the time in our coach training program, the coaching relationship, the coach-client relationship, or the leader team member relationship could be one of the most intimate relationships that a person will ever experience. Us coaches, we get together often. I'm so grateful that I have such a wonderful coaching community, but we get together often just as a team, as a group, to support each other. And oftentimes what comes up in those conversations when we're together is gratefulness. How grateful we are that our clients feel so safe with us, that they share things with us that they may not have shared with anybody ever. Sometimes my clients share things with me that they haven't shared with their significant others or their managers at work. Sometimes my clients share things with me that they haven't even shared with themselves. And I have it that the reason that they feel safe enough to do that is because of the trusting and the safe space that we have co-created. So I say that's the reason. That's the primaries. There are tons of benefits of co-creating a space that is trusting and that is safe. But I would say at the top, it is because it could be one, if not only, it could possibly be one of the only places where that person feels safe enough to be vulnerable to share what it is that they need to share. That they feel vulnerable enough, they feel safe enough to be vulnerable enough to share about their deepest dreams and aspirations and desires. Isn't that cool? That's a cool job, right? And I'm so glad I have it. So also I would say one of the benefits of co-creating the space of trust and safety is because the coaching relationship is, in my opinion, is the container for growth. It is one of the strongest, most reliable containers for our clients, for our team members, if we're leaders, for our people, our family members, to feel safe enough to actually practice things that help them grow. I know I work with all of my coaches, and I did say plural coaches, hello. In my work with all of my coaches, one of the reasons that I feel so comfortable sharing about my dreams and sharing about what stops me and sharing about my fears is because they have partnered with me to create that type of space. Okay, so I want to offer you today, and I know we just have just a few more minutes left together today, but I want to offer you some things to consider, some nuggets, if you will, some gems, some pearls of wisdom for you all to consider in terms of ways for you to deepen trust and safety in your relationships. But before I do, I'm going to check in again. I promised I would do better about checking in. So let's see. Karenette says, bear with me, y'all. I'm driving and using the talk to text. Okay, so long as you are being careful. Thank you, Karenette, for being careful. So, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. If not, please let me know. So Karenette says, trust is essential for someone to feel safe. Yes, in order for someone to feel safe, they have to be able to trust you and trust the environment. They work together. Trust and safety works together. As a coach, your client needs to trust you to be vulnerable and honest to get to the core of their needs. If I had a mic, I would drop it. I'm going to just use this as my mic, Karenette. Absolutely, and you are spot on. And I love that you said they actually go together. And I'm grateful that the ICF and the core competencies put them together. Trust and safety go together. They work together. Thank you for offering that. Let's see. I'm just checking in again and see if I have any other messages. I promise I'll come back and check in again. I so appreciate, I just love how you all are blowing up the chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So I promise to offer you just some nuggets, some things to consider, ways to deepen trust and safety in your relationships. And I especially have my eyes on coaches and leaders. And I have it that they are the same. Coaches are leaders and leaders are coaches. So one of the biggest key elements in trust and safety is respect for clients' autonomy. And I know my team member is going to put that up right here. Number one is respect for client autonomy. What does that mean? A big part of this core competency says that as a coach, I am going to respect the client as the leader of that environment. I'm going to respect the client as the leader of the coaching session. Not that I'm going to sometimes I think about it, and I train on this in our school. I think about it like the client and I are about to go on a trip. Okay, we're about to go on a road trip. The client comes to pick me up. I'm all excited, right? So I come out of my house and I get ready to climb into the Winnebago because we're going on this road trip. What respect looks like is that I get in the passenger seat because I honor that the client is in charge of this road trip. So thus, they are in the driver's seat. What disrespect looks like, or what sometimes consulting can look like, what disrespect of that client's autonomy could look like is as I walk up to the Winnebago getting ready to go on this great road trip with this client, I go around to the driver's side and I say to the client, okay, move over to the passenger seat. I'm going to take over and drive us on this road trip. I know you're out there laughing, right? It sounds funny. And I can tell you, as a mentor coach, as an owner and a trainer in a coach training school, as an assessor of coaching and demonstration of the core competencies, I hate this statistic, but I will say oftentimes I hear, as I listen to coaches coach, I hear coaches doing just that, going over to the driver's side and saying to the client, move over, or stay in the passenger seat. And as they're going on the road trip, the coach says, no, don't exit there. No, we don't want to get off on that exit. Now, I've traveled this road so many times, and I can tell you the exit that you need to get off on is actually 3 exits up the road. I know, I hear you laughing. But the thing is, it can happen so subtly. And sometimes, and I've done it. Let me just say, I do not mind outing myself. I've done it. In fact, when I went for my MCC credential, one of my calls didn't pass because that's what I was doing. Not the whole time in the coaching session, but there was a significant part of the coaching session where I basically was like, oh, no. Let me tell you where to go. Let me tell you which exit to get off on. Let me tell you which way to turn. Nope, you don't want to turn left or right. So I've done it too. And I'm so grateful for this world called coaching. I'm grateful for this world called coach training that supports us coaches and helps us remember that it is important to respect the client's autonomy, to let them lead, even when we're tempted to grab that steering wheel and start driving. Okay, so that's number one. Second key element I want you to consider is unconditional positive regard. What does that mean? Unconditional positive regard. We want our clients to feel that they are accepted just as they are. We want them to feel, and their experience of this coach-client relationship, their experience of the coaching session, to be one of respect, to be one that is positive, to be one, a space that is non-judgmental. We want to build trust with our clients so that they feel that this space called a coaching session is safe. And we can do that by not leading, as I just said with key element number one. We do that by meeting the client where they are without judgment. I'm curious about, how do you create that in your coaching practice? Or if you're a leader in an organization, how do you create that with your team members? Like, how do you meet them right where they are and support them around growth, if that's what they desire? But how do you meet them where they are? What do you put in place so that you turn down the volume on your judge? Yes, we all have it. All of us. All of us. Our number one saboteur. Who are my positive intelligence people out there? Our number one saboteur, the number one space is the judge. So I'm curious, how do you turn down the volume on your judge and honor that client right where they are? Another thing that we talk about a lot in our coach training program is that we relate to clients as perfect, whole, and complete. They're perfect and whole and complete just as they are. Like, there is nothing to fix because they're not broken. So sometimes I remind myself of that. Like, this person on this other side of this coaching session, they're not broken. There's nothing to fix about them. This person merely wants to create something in their lives or deepen something in their lives. That's it. This person has some goals that they want to move forward. They're not broken. Okay. And before I give you key element number 3 and start to wrap up, I'm going to check in with you. I promise to do a better job at checking in. Okay. So thank you, Coach, for this. Coach Karen says, don't be a backseat driver. Now, you all know, I so appreciate that. You all know how we feel about backseat drivers. You know, I know you've been on those road trips with your family members and you have the map all, oh, I'm really dating myself saying map, but you got the map all laid out. Okay, GPS, hello, invented by a Black woman. Okay, let me just put that shameless plug in there. So you have the GPS set, you're clear, right, on the road that you're going to take. You're clear on the route. You're clear on everything. And there you are in the driver's seat and you're just rolling. I used to love road trips. I still love road trips. Side note, I'm going to ask my team member, Sharna, to write this down for me and remind me that I am going to take a road trip. I used to really love road trips. I'm going to do that again. Okay, back. Come on back, Sophia. So yes, we want to make sure that we're not grabbing the steering wheel, even from the back seat, by telling the client, no, don't go over there. Don't go over there. And sometimes, let me just say, sometimes it is challenging. I know it is. I hear it from you all the time. I know it can be very challenging not to steer, not to just jump in there and tell the client what to do, because we care about our clients, right? We care about them. We don't want to see them fumble. We don't want to see them take what we may think is a wrong turn. But I am going to encourage you to do just what my mug says. Y'all remember my mug, right? Thank you, Coach, for my gift. My mug says, trust the process. Trust the process. I am going to encourage you to trust the process. So when you start to feel like, I need to tell them what to do, I want you to do something else that we talk about in our coach training program. I hadn't planned on giving this to you, but you're welcome. I will. I want you to do WAIT. And I know my team members will put that in the chat and put it up here. WAIT. It's an acronym, all capital letters. WAIT. So before you get ready to reach over here in your great toolbox of suggestions and other tools, I want to encourage you to wait. WAIT. And what does that stand for? I got this from one of my great colleagues. Thank you so much. I'm just sitting here with some good vibes. Why am I talking? Why am I talking? So as I go over to reach into my toolbox, and mine is cute. It's all blinged out. My blinged out toolbox of tools before I go and reach and pull out that suggestion giving tool. I'm going to remind myself of that acronym, and we'll put it up again. Wait. Why am I talking? And said another ways, why am I about to talk? Why am I about to give this suggestion? Because I know a lot of us think, especially those of us who have very strong consulting muscles, right? We may have come from positions and organizations where we actually were expected to tell people what to do. We were expected to give suggestions and recommendations. I know I spent the majority of my career in those type of positions. So I know for some of us who do have those strong consulting muscles, this can be challenging for us to remember to just stop and pause and remember that that client is in control. That client is naturally resourceful, and they may struggle for a bit. Can you be with their struggling? Can you wait? Can you remind yourself that, ooh, this is actually their road trip? I'm just blessed that they invited me along, but they are in control. So I want you to use that acronym, WAIT, why am I talking, as a reminder to yourself, like, ooh, why am I about to go over here and dip into my suggestion toolbox and pull out some brilliant suggestion? Why am I doing that? Why? How about I take a deep breath? Ooh, I needed that more than I knew. So take a deep breath and honor the space as a trusting and safe space, a space where that client is in control, a space where the client is naturally resourceful and can come up with all different types of ideas and thoughts around how they can move their goal forward. Okay. All right. I'll get off that soapbox when it's so hard. You all know I love this work so much, right? All right. Let me just dive in and give you number 3. The third key element. I promised to give you 3. And here's the third one as we get ready to wrap up. Transparency and integrity. I'm going to just leave that right there for just a moment while I go check in on the chat. Yes. Thank you for all your comments. I appreciate you all so much. Keep them coming. Yes. Wait. Trust the process. Yes. Again, don't be a backseat driver. Yes. Asking yourself, why am I talking? So the third one, transparency and integrity. Why do I have this as the third key element that I want to offer you in terms of building, co-creating, and maintaining an environment of trust and safety? With transparency and integrity, it is a reminder for us to be honest. Just be honest. Be honest about what, Coach Sophia? Be honest about what coaching is and what it is not. We build trust with our clients when we are clear up front as we're onboarding with a new client and throughout our engagement with them. When we have an atmosphere of transparency and integrity, and we are willing to be honest about what coaching is and what it is not, what we offer and what we don't. How many of you coaches, you don't have to answer this, just answer this by yourself in the privacy of your room with your journal. But how many of us have struggled and gotten scared when our client asks us a question like, how do I do blah, blah, blah? What would be your answer for X, Y, and Z, coach? What do you think I should do, coach? How many of us get nervous, right? We get nervous, and all of a sudden, our performer starts to get really loud in our head and says, oh my gosh, Sophia, you better know the answer to this question, or that client's going to stop working with you. I know it happens. I've had the wonderful honor to mentor and coach and train well over 1,000 coaches in my career. So I've heard from you. I know you get scared sometimes when you get asked questions like that. And I want to offer to you that you remind yourself that the client actually has the answers. And if they don't have the answers, your job is to continue to co-create that space of trust and safety that allows them space to maybe discover the answers, maybe even increase their self-awareness so that they actually find the answer. And every now and then, yes, it's totally fine for us also as coaches to offer suggestions. It's fine. But we want to make sure that suggestion giving, right, or putting in some answers or recommendations that really are more consulting, we want to make sure that those types of tools and techniques and answers and responses, those are all the way at the bottom of our toolbox. I said mine is blinged out. So I make sure that the suggestion giving, telling the answer, not giving the client time to figure it out for themselves, I'm going to put all of that at the bottom of my blinged out toolbox. And so if I do that, what's on top? A whole lot of other tools. One of our most powerful tools is being clear about what coaching is and what coaching is not. Respecting the client so much that we are clear with the client that in this relationship, my job is not to tell you what to do. My job is not to give you all the answers. My job is to support you and relate to you as perfect, whole, and complete, and naturally resourceful. And every now and then, if you give me permission, I will put in what I see. That's our jobs. So, again, with transparency and integrity, it says that the coach is willing, committed to, the leader is committed to being honest about what their role is and what their role is not. Aren't those juicy? I know. I talk in food terms. I love me some food. That's so delicious, so juicy. So I want to hear from you. If this has been supportive of you, if this conversation has been supportive of you, will you just put a number one? Just put a number one in the chat. And I just want to check in to make sure. Because here's the thing. Lord knows I have enough to do. So I don't want to come here and offer things to you that are not supportive of you. Supportive of you being an even stronger coach, an even stronger leader, an even stronger coach leader, an even stronger leader coach. And so I want to know that it is supportive of you. So thank you for just like flooding the chat with all of those ones. I'm going to wrap up. I know I gave you a few extra minutes. Want to check in on the chat again. Thank you so much, Coach. Let's see, says, I love that acronym. It's so so self-explanatory, right? Thank you for saying so. But when you say it out loud and what it means in the context of coaching or any scenario where you should be listening, it is absolutely perfect. Thank you for saying so. She's talking about that WAIT acronym. WAIT. Why am I talking? Or why am I about to start talking? Why am I about to put all my brilliance, all my suggestions? Why am I about to go into performer in this conversation as opposed to relating to this client as perfectly capable? When we build and co-create spaces of trust and safety, those clients will keep coming back to us. And not only will they keep coming back to us and keep hiring us over and over and over again, they will also then go and tell their loved ones about us. They'll go and share about the power of coaching. They'll share about how safe they felt in that environment to go create all these amazing things in their lives. They'll go tell their managers, the CEOs of their companies about you and the work that they've been able to create with you. So I want to encourage you, keep co-creating spaces of trust and safety. I'll see you next week for the next core competency. Thank you, coaches. Also, don't want to forget, we're going to drop in the chat. For those of you who want a refresher around the core competencies, you're welcome. I created a digital course for you all. Very simple course that gives you a good broad overview, if you will, of the ICF core competencies. And so I want you to grab that course. It's only for a few coins, but it's okay. Most importantly, I want you to be able to hit the reset button on your coaching business and make sure that you are adhering to the ICF core competencies. Until next time, Coach Sophia out. Ciao, everybody. Ciao, ciao.